Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
2020 was a difficult year for us all. World economies have crashed. Financial markets showed us again how important it is to be aware of the global economy. And, believe it or not, many people have profited from the movements in the markets. This December, we bring you the biggest open source webinar series for beginner traders to help each and every one of you understand the basics of online trading and investments from industry experts. Learn from the CEOs is the biggest webinar series organized by InstructFX with the extraordinary participation of 5 CEOs of 5 top Forex companies worldwide. Join us live on Monday, the 14th of December at 1700 GMT for the grand opening with an amazing webinar on trading currency pairs with João Monteiro, CEO at 4XC. On Tuesday, the 15th of December, trading stocks and indices is the topic of the day with Phil Adler, CEO at ETX Capital, straight from the heart of London. Wednesday, the 16th, the week only gets better with Joe Rundle, CEO at Markets.com for an amazing webinar on trading commodities. Just when you thought that things can't get any better, on Thursday, the 17th, we have the cryptocurrencies trading webinar with our surprise guest. Finally, on Friday the 18th, it's your time to shine in the Fidelity Gala Awards, where InstructFX is rewarding you for watching us live with amazing prizes. Join the biggest open source webinar of 2020 and learn what most Forex brokers don't want you to know from 5 reputable CEOs. Click on the link below and reserve your seat for the biggest open source webinar of 2020, hosted by yours truly, Andrew, the Chart Whisperer. Learn, observe, trade with InstructFX.
What's happening, people? Good morning, Europe, and welcome everyone to our live stream. How are you guys doing? It's been a few days. I've been away for a few days, guys, due to a very bad cold that pinned me in bed to the point where I thought I've contacted the COVID virus. Luckily, the test came out negative, so things will get back to normal now. Big thank you, everyone, for all the emails you've sent asking when are we coming back, what happened, how we doing, and what's going on. We are back, guys. We are back with great news today. In only 4 days from now, we start the biggest open source webinar of 2020 with 4 CEOs of 4 famous brokerages worldwide. Here's a sneak peek of what will happen starting Monday, 14th of December at 1700 hours GMT.
Join us live on Monday, the 14th of December at 1700 GMT for the grand opening with an amazing webinar on trading currency pairs with João Monteiro, CEO at 4XC. Learn from the CEOs is the biggest webinar series organized by InstructFX with the extraordinary participation of 5 CEOs of 5 top Forex companies worldwide. Join the biggest open source webinar of 2020 and learn what most Forex brokers don't want you to know from 5 reputable CEOs. Click on the link below and reserve your seat for the biggest open source webinar of 2020, hosted by yours truly, Andrew, the Chart Whisperer. Learn, observe, trade with InstructFX.
Right, this is what's going to happen starting Monday, guys. Even though I was away for a few days, my team worked non-stop to prepare the biggest webinar series of 2020 organized by InstructFX. You can find the link in the description down below, guys, if you want to book your VIP seat for the biggest open source webinar series of 2020. Now, let's get down to business and see what is happening in the markets today, 10th of December, 2020. Brexit talks stall again, leaving the sterling traders on the knife edge. Facebook got in trouble again, sending its share price down 1.9% last night after the US regulators filed more lawsuits against the company yesterday. The US-China situation, guys, took a wrong turn as today the US will remove another 10 Chinese companies from the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones indices. The European Central Bank will announce its interest rate today at 14.45 GMT plus 2. And Bitcoin, the good almighty Bitcoin, gained overnight, trading at $18,350. And in case you missed the announcement, guys, next week we start the biggest open source webinar of 2020 with 4 CEOs of 4 reputable brokerages worldwide. You can find the link in the description down below. Book your VIP seat, like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. European markets opening coming up. All right. Good morning, people. Let's have a quick look at the economic calendar, guys, and see what's expected to happen in the markets today. We have a busy economic calendar. We started nice and early, shortly after midnight, guys. Shortly after midnight, with announcements from UK. We had quite a few announcements. Most of them came out positive, apart from the trade balance that was announced this morning at 9 o'clock. So exactly 1 hour ago. The day will continue at midday with the Spanish 10-year obligation auction, followed by retail sales numbers from Brazil, and followed by one of the biggest announcements of the day, guys. Deposit facility rate for European Central Bank, marginal lending facility, and, of course, the interest rate decision, which is expected to remain unchanged at 0%. In the afternoon, after 3 o'clock GMT plus 2, guys, we're going to have the core CPI announced on the US dollar and the CPI. We're going to have the initial jobless claims, another press conference from the ECB. And later on at 2100 hours, we're going to have the federal budget balance for November. Big day in the economic calendar with lots of movements. A bit of volatility is expected today, guys. Let's have a quick look at the couple of interesting articles and see how the markets opened today. What happened in the markets? Right, okay. I'm going to take the questions towards the end, guys. Yeah, towards the end of this broadcast, which is going to be in about 10-15 minutes from now. So type your comments, type your questions, feel free. And I will take the questions and the comments towards the end. Yeah, so stay tuned. Meanwhile, let's have a quick look at a very interesting article, guys. European stock markets are seen opening lower this morning as investors hold their breath, and Brexit and US stimulus stocks continuing, and ahead of a ECB policy meeting. At 2:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the DAX futures in Germany traded 0.2% lower. CAC 40 futures in France dropped 0.1%, and the FTSE 100 futures in the UK fell 0.1%. Again, we're going to see some talks about Brexit, guys. They have a deadline this week to conclude something. Talks between UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen late Wednesday ended without a breakthrough, confirming very large gaps remain over issues from fisheries to dispute resolution. The two sides gave themselves until the end of the week to seal a new trade pact with around $1 trillion in annual trade at risk of facing tariffs of quotas if a deal cannot be reached before transition arrangements end on December 31st. On the U.S. side of things, guys, on Capitol Hill, U.S. lawmakers were able to approve a stopgap government funding bill on Wednesday, but negotiations over a broader COVID-19 relief package continued, with the two sides maintaining differences over aid to state and local governments. Now, more about Europe. European Central Bank holds its latest policy-setting meeting later today, and the central bank is widely expected to increase and extend its pandemic bond buying program to help the economy recover from this bloody COVID pandemic, guys, that pinned the world economies. The reasons for new ECB auctions are clear. With the second lockdowns, the September projections have become outdated and too optimistic. We had a statement from an ING analyst, Karsten Bresky, in a research note. Data from the non-Eurozone UK earlier this morning illustrated this slowdown with monthly gross domestic product growth of 0.4% for October, a drop from the 1.1% growth seen the previous month. Now, oil prices. Let's talk about oil for a minute, and then we're going to move to the charts of the day and the signals of the day. Guys, oil prices rose this morning despite a larger than expected build in U.S. crude stocks. On increased confidence, a fairly prompt rollout of COVID-19 vaccines will spur a rebound in demand next year. But that's months from now, guys. That's at least 3 to 6 months from now. Crude inventories rose by 15.2 million barrels in the week of to December 4th. The Energy Information Administration said late yesterday, compared with expectations for a draw of 1.4 million barrels. Elsewhere, gold futures rose 0.1% to $1,839 an ounce, while the Euro USD traded 0.1% higher at 120.88. This is what is happening. These are the latest news from the markets, guys. Now, let's have a quick look at the charts of the day and the signals of the day. What do you say? We're coming back live in exactly 50 seconds with the charts of the day and the signals of the day. Stay tuned.
Join us live on Monday, the 14th of December at 1700 GMT for the grand opening with an amazing webinar on trading currency pairs with João Monteiro, CEO at 4XC. Learn from the CEOs is the biggest webinar series organized by InstructFX with the extraordinary participation of 5 CEOs of 5 top Forex companies worldwide. Join the biggest open source webinar of 2020 and learn what most Forex brokers don't want you to know from 5 reputable CEOs. Click on the link below and reserve your seat for the biggest open source webinar of 2020, hosted by yours truly, Andrew, the Chart Whisperer. Learn, observe, trade with InstructFX.
All right, beautiful people. We are back with the charts of the day, guys. We start with crude oil futures as usual. We see crude oil trading at $45.75, opening positive this morning with the RSI stochastic pointing upwards. We see the price well supported by the 200 moving average. Guys, there is potential to the upside if crude oil futures will manage to create higher highs today and push towards the above the 46, towards the 46.22 level. That's going to be our indication for a long position. Now, Euro USD, guys, the most traded currency pair in the world, is currently trading at 120.96 on investing.com, with the price well supported by the 200 moving average on a 60-minute chart. RSI stochastic still pointing upwards. There is potential to the upside for the euro this morning. There might be potential. However, there's one thing that lets me think that we might see the euro going down and testing that 200 moving average once again. And that thing is this trend line that I drew on the charts, guys. I think you can see the downtrend that the Euro USD pair has started a few trading sessions ago. Now, the benchmark, the reference point, is the 200 moving average at 120.92. No, sorry, at 120.73. So let's see what's going to happen. We're going to have a look at some trading signals in a minute, guys, and see what's going to happen with the Euro USD this morning. 14 minutes into the European opening. Wow, what a negative opening for the cable this morning, guys. GBP USD currently trading at 133.10 with great potential to the downside. Negative opening for the pound this morning. If it's going to break this level to the downside, very likely traders will eye the 132.51 level as the first take profit level. Obviously, the news that Brexit talks with the European Union are stalling once again, and it might send the United Kingdom into a no-deal Brexit to the end of the year, which is said to have a catastrophic impact on the pound, has impacted the trader sentiment this morning, sending the pound lower, guys, much lower than it was last night. Let's move on to USD JPY. Let's see how the US dollar is doing this morning. 104.56 for the USD JPY pair this morning. Good rally overnight. We see a gold cross being formed in the right-hand side of the chart. We might see the US dollar trading even higher at 104.75 this morning. Very, very likely that's where traders will set their first take profit targets to the upside if they decide to go long on the USD versus the JPY. USD CAD, on the other hand, Downtrend for the USD CAD for quite some time now. 127.94 for the USD CAD this morning, with the RSI stochastic pointing downwards. We see that 200 moving average pushing the price lower and keeping the price subdued in this downtrend. Let's see, the situation in the US in regards to the COVID virus, guys, is catastrophic. The stimulus talks are stalling, just like the Brexit talks. So far, there's no good news coming from the US. Even more than that, as I said a minute ago, guys, US will take another 10 Chinese companies out their S&P 500 and the Dow Jones indices today. So it's bad what's going on. Let's see how this year will end for the US dollar. We're moving on to the US dollar index, guys, which is currently trading at 91.09. With the RSI stochastic pushing slightly higher, probably aiming for that 200 moving average at 91.20. Okay, there is potential for that moving average to be reached for 91.20. But where do we take it from there? This is the question. What's going to happen with the US dollar from here, guys? Is it going to bounce from the 200 MA? Continuing the downtrend? Is it going to recover? Is it the price going to settle above the 200 MA, indicating a potential long position on the US dollar index? Only time will tell. Meanwhile, we move on to the gold futures, guys. 1840.25 for gold futures this morning. RSI stochastic a bit undecided. We see gold futures settling below that 200 moving average for the last couple of trading sessions. We see the 50 moving average coming down as well. And if this movement will continue, probably we're going to see a death cross being formed by the 200 and the 50 MA, pushing gold prices even lower. Probably they're going to target again the 1800 flat mark at some point today, if this downward movement will continue. Let's see. It's a key level, guys. Key level at 1843, where that 200 moving average is. If the candlesticks will manage to settle above that 200 MA, then probably we're going to see gold futures gaining a bit. But it all has to do with the US dollar. Meanwhile, let's move on to the European oil, guys. The Brent oil futures, which are currently trading at $49.05, with potential to the upside, with the RSI stochastic still pointing upwards. Positive opening this morning for Brent oil futures as well as crude oil futures. If Brent oil will continue the upwards movement, probably traders will try and get about 45 pips out of it, setting their first take profit towards the upside at 49.46 or somewhere in that region. Now, let's have a quick look at the mighty Bitcoin, guys, which gained $200 in the last 20 minutes, guys. We are 20 minutes into the European opening this morning, and we see Bitcoin trading higher already, $18,458 for Bitcoin, with a good push to the upside. RSI, stochastic at the bottom of the chart, both turned around towards the upside. If you're planning to trade Bitcoin today, guys, keep an eye on that 200 moving average towards the upside, that 18,768, as that might cap the gains that Bitcoin will have today. Apart from that, we see higher lows being formed. We see higher highs being formed. As soon as this green candlestick that we see right now manages to close somewhere higher than the previous close there, then we can bet on an uptrend up to that 200 moving average, up to $18,768.02. Ethereum, on the other hand, is doing almost the same as Bitcoin is doing right now. We can see that RSI not being able to reach the overbought levels, indicating quite a bit of buying power. We can see that stochastic turning around at the bottom of the chart again, indicating a bit of buying power for Ethereum this morning. $566.12 for Ethereum this morning. We have a 200 moving average at 578. So probably that's where traders will set their first take profits to the upside if they decide to go long on Ethereum this morning. Right, this is what's happening in the markets today, guys. Oh, no, let's have a quick look at some trading signals before I forget. Trading signals 20-something minutes into the European opening, guys. We see a negative opening on the Euro USD and the GBP USD this morning, with strong sell signals on a 5-minute and a 15-minute chart. USD JPY, on the other hand, we have 3 green, 3 strong buy positions. USD CHF is mixed buy on short time frames. The daily remains a strong sell. The Aussie dollar, guys, strong buy on all 4 time frames. 4 green for the Aussie dollar, 4 green for the euro versus the pound, which makes a bit of sense. Yeah, if you think about it, what UK is going through right now with the Brexit negotiations stalling again, as we got used to. It's been 4 years of stalling, guys. This is what Brexit meant. So Euro GBP, 4 green for the Euro GBP today. USD CAD, 4 red. 4 strong sell positions on USD CAD on all 4 time frames. The Kiwi dollar versus the US dollar is set to strengthen today with 4 green, 4 strong buy positions. Towards the bottom of the chart, we see the pound set to weaken versus the Swiss franc versus the CHF with 4 red, 4 strong sell positions on all 4 time frames. This is what is happening with the markets today, this morning, guys. Don't forget, you have a link in the description down below. Book your VIP seat for the biggest open webinar source of 2020, organized by InstructFX, which is going to start next Monday, the entire week next week, 14th to 19th of December, guys. You're going to meet 5 CEOs of 5 reputable Forex brokerages worldwide. Amazing prizes. Everything will be provided to you and given to you by InstructFX starting Monday, 14th of December at 1700 hours GMT. You can watch us live on the social media channels on Twitch TV /InstructFX. This was it from my side this morning, guys. Join me at 4:30 to ring the bell with me for the first time this week for the US markets open. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.